persuasive speech on gun control. The government would cause more chaos in our nation if they took our guns away. Violence in the world today is at an all-time high, and as American citizens, we have the right to bear arms. Families all across America are vulnerable to the different dangers of the world, such as gangs, thieves, murderers. The head of the household needs to be able to keep their family safe from harm, and if they do not have a gun, I believe this isn't possible. If guns are in the right hands, it makes all people safer. A gun cannot go off unless the trigger is pulled. According to Kim Henney, if the number of good people with guns is greater than the number of bad people with guns, then the overall public is safer. People try different methods for protecting their home. Some use guard dogs, others use alarm systems, but a gun will not bark all night like a dog, or a gun will not try to attack an innocent pedestrian walking by. Having a gun present in the home is a good way to stop a burglar. Just having a gun could scare the intruder, and they might flee from terror. But if the intruder does not flee, then the homeowner is still safe because they have a firearm in their hands, ready to fire. Guns allow the weaker individual to fight the stronger and protect themselves against criminals. The bad people in the world are still going to smuggle guns throughout the country. Meanwhile, all the good, law-abiding citizens will obey the gun control law and have no way to protect themselves from the bad people. Some people believe that if guns are outlawed, only outlaws will have the guns. The thieves will not stop stealing, crime will just get worse, many innocent Americans would be harmed and also killed. The news media is always broadcasting sad stories and tragic events of shootings on television for the world to see, but they do not put the stories of all the lives that are saved each year from using firearms. A gun is used as protection, and it could also be used as a deterrent to neighborhood crimes. People who at least try to defend themselves with a gun are less likely to get hurt than someone who just lets the thieves take control. Protection is the reason why people want a firearm. The guns are not the reason for all the violence in the world. The reason is the murderers, thieves, carjackers, and rapists in today's society. People realize the world is filled with convicts and other bad people who do nothing but harm innocent human beings, but yet some people still want to blame the guns. Law enforcement can only protect these cities and towns to a certain extent. The police officers will not be able to be there immediately when you need them. They can't be everywhere at once. Police are there to stop all the crime they can and to investigate the bad things that happen and bring the perpetrators to justice. But many law enforcement members alike, they lack the increasing numbers of firearms. Guns help the community. Gun ownership is more beneficial than any other protection when it comes to anti-burglary measures. And many people think that cities can just hire more police officers. But hiring more police officers is not as easy as it sounds. Many cities cannot afford to hire more police officers. Just keeping a gun in the households across America could be the difference in life or death of not only you, but friends, families, and other loved ones. In the old days, guns were respected, and guns were a way of life. From the very first settlers to today's modern army, guns have been a vital tool in getting America to where it is today. They were used to protect families, protect livestock, protect property. The founding fathers of the Constitution believed if every citizen was armed and ready to defend the nation, then the nation would be less vulnerable to outside threats. They wanted citizens to be armed so if the time came they could defend themselves. It was not only a right, but also a duty of every citizen to keep and bear arms. Handguns are the most popular gun in the United States. These certain firearms are easy to hide, they're good for self-defense, and they can easily be fired with one hand. According to Neil Bernards, about 52 million handguns are circulating in the U.S. and about 2 million are bought each year. Because there are so many guns already out there, I believe that if a criminal wants to get a gun, he will be able to. Therefore, I don't believe that a stiffer gun control law would do much to decrease the crimes committed with firearms. Anyone who owns a weapon needs to be familiar with it and know how to operate it safely. I believe that concealed handguns license should be issued to every responsible and trained adult. These licenses are good to have. If a gun is concealed, then a thief or a carjacker will not know if the victim is armed or not. And this makes attacking someone not as attractive for the thief. If an attacker thinks the potential victim may be armed, he could be more concerned about his own safety and less likely to attack. The heart of the gun control debate is in the Second Amendment. It is the only place and the only reference to gun possession in the Constitution. The Second Amendment states, "A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to bear arms shall not be infringed." This one simple sentence had made 2 centuries of arguments. Sandra Alters stated, "The right to bear arms is an American tradition." There is nothing in the Constitution that says that Congress can prohibit firearms. The need for firearms is just as great today as it was when the Constitution was written. Americans must be allowed to own guns. I ask you to support the National Rifle Association. Please call or write your congressional leader to ask them to support the ownership of guns. Taking American citizens' guns away would not be a very smart decision by our American government. Many innocent lives would be taken because citizens would not have a way to protect themselves. The Constitution was made for a reason, and the American government does not need to go against it. Thank you.